What do Virginia Democrats need to do to sustain that momentum next year, in your view? Would a candidate like, Terry McAuliffe give voters the excitement that they need?
We're playing for the long term here. And so there are going to be wins and losses. We're not a blue state. We're a purple state. Maybe on our way to becoming blue someday, but we're going to have lots of contests in between. We faced... Frankly, we have elections every year in Virginia. And in the old Harry Byrd machine days, partially that was by design to, in fact, limit turnout. So next year, we'll go from 80% turnout this year in my part of the state to 40% for a gubernatorial election, maybe a little higher. And so the key for Terry to win is to make sure that some of those infrequent voters who are Democrats or lean our way come out and vote. That's exactly how Tim Kaine won the governorship. He really targeted a lot of those infrequent quadrennial Democratic voters to actually come out the next year and vote for him for governor.
And you talk about purple. I think it's important to mention that Frank Wolf, the Republican veteran congressman, he has part of Prince William County, which he easily carried over a lesser-known Democratic candidate, getting over 18,000 votes to the 11,000 for the Democrat. Frank Wolf seems not to be caught up in some... I know he's a long-term incumbent, so that plays for his benefit, but he seems to be more of the moderate conservative style congressman like Tom Davis, who preceded you.
Yep.
Is that a message to the Republicans about how you win and how you stay in? I know you don't want to give the Republicans any advice.
I think it ought to be.
But
it ought to be, but I don't know that it is. Well, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Tom was successful too, Tom Davis, and he was reviled toward the end by the base of his party. He couldn't win a statewide nomination.
He could have been the Senate candidate this time around.
Presumably. But I mean, the party's moved so far right in terms of its base and its activists that people like that who are demonstrably successful in electoral politics are not welcome.
Your opponent, if I can just one more time on your race, because you did win 60% of the vote to 26% for Chris Perkins. You said that it was a victory of pragmatism over ideology and not so fast Tea Party. Your Mr. Perkins said on election night, this battle may be over, but in the war, we will get our country back.
Yeah, I always am offended by statements like that, like it isn't our country too. It's everybody's country. And nobody has a claim to it exclusively. And to make a statement like that is to exclude, by inference, lots of other people. And I think the election return of Tuesday reminds everybody of that. It's one country. We may be of different political affiliation. We may have different points of view, but nobody has a claim to the United States as their country exclusively. And I think that was one of the messages of the election night overall. Which was a message of inclusivity and the insistence on it by millions of voters.